tell you a really cool tip how to make sure you're getting eggs year-round for you and your family, even through the coldest part of winter. We're going to talk about that, but first, we're going to go over a few factors of why your hens may not be producing or laying eggs like they should. Hey guys, welcome back. Today, we're going to talk a little bit about why did my chickens stop laying and what is going on. Egg production can be affected by numerous factors. The first one being the daylight. It is ideal for a hen to have 16 hours of daylight a day to be at her peak on egg production. When our days are shorter and it's getting darker sooner, typically in the fall, in the winter, that is when you will see a hen cut back on her egg production unless supplemental light is added. Second factor, not all hens are good layers. A good laying hen should produce up to 300 eggs a year during the first and second year of her life. Just to throw out a few of the peak layers that I'm familiar with: Leghorns, white or brown, Americanas or blue egg layers, Rhode Island Reds, Barred Rocks, and Sex Links can all be rated at really good layers. They typically lay anywhere between 260 to 300 eggs a year. Now, given that, the first 2 years of a hen's life is going to be her peak at laying eggs. If you have older hens that are getting past 2, they're going to start slowing down a little bit with their egg production. Third is the age of your hen. The first and second year of a hen's life is when they are going to produce the most eggs that you're going to see. Each year after that, egg production decreases quite a bit each year. Typically, between 5 and 6 years of age, you're maybe getting an egg a week, if that, and by 6 to 8, chickens typically retire at that age. So age can play a factor. Fourth, molting. Is your chicken going through molting? This typically can happen any time of year, usually in the fall or winter. It's the process when your hens look like they went through a feather plucker and they lose a lot of their feathers. Egg production gets cut down to a minimum, if any at all. Think about how your chicken looks, how she's acting. Usually young hens will go through their first molting at 18 months of age. Then after that, it's once every single year. Fifth, what am I feeding my hens? Hens require 90% of their feed ration to be a complete layer feed. It can be pellet, it can be crumble, but it needs to be a full, rich, balanced layer feed that has calcium. Hens need at least 3.5% calcium to be able to produce a good eggshell inside of them to form the egg. If they don't get that and their feed ration is made up of other things like treats and corn and mealyworms, that can cut down on egg production as well. All in all, we want 90% feed, 10% treats. That's it, you guys. Sixth, water. Have my hens had adequate water this whole time? If a hen does not have a good water supply or the water freezes, any shortages on water will make a hen not want to eat, therefore she won't lay. Make sure you always have good, fresh drinking water at all times, even during the freezing weather. Seventh, cleanliness. How do my nest boxes look and how does my hen house look? If you have dirty nest boxes, your hen is not going to want to go in there and lay her egg. She may find somewhere else to lay, or she just refuses to lay. Cleanliness is a big one for the health of them and to encourage them to actually want to come into the hen house and use those nest boxes. I try to keep mine clean at least every 3 weeks, and I've got 23 chickens going in and out at all times. Keep them clean. That will encourage them to get in there and use those. Last thing we're going to talk about is stress. Have my birds or my hens been stressed out lately? This could be bringing in new chickens, a predator scaring them. It could be as much as a rooster picking on them or being aggressive towards them, loud noises, to storms, to heavy rains. All that takes a toll on hens with laying. Yes, I know nothing's ever perfect, but if all of a sudden your hens quit laying for a while and you're wondering if it's the feed, if it's, molting, if it's the hours of day, it really gives you things to look at to see, okay, is everything else okay and just something scared them last night, or maybe I'm feeding too many treats and I need to cut back and feed more of a layer ration. These are things to think about before we start cutting things out of their diet thinking something's wrong. I hope some of these facts we just went over can answer some questions that some of you might be having and be able to help you moving forward with maybe what is going on, what I should or shouldn't be doing, and good luck, you guys. Okay, so here's my tip on making sure you have eggs year-round.
All right, so here is our really cool tip for getting eggs year-round. I'm coming in on this one because this is my favorite part about the eggs and the chickens in the winter, and that is this. Every spring, Shelly and I buy a few new little chicks in the springtime to put out with these hens. Of course, you got to get them up in size a little bit before you throw them out, but once they're ready to go out with the big hens, those young chicks start laying in the fall, and they will lay all through the winter when the bigger hens stop laying. I don't know if you guys know that or not, but it's just a really cool thing that happens in nature. These things lay their first year through the winter. So every year we buy a few more, every winter we get eggs. Then when those come around through the summer and then the following winter, they don't lay, but we've bought new chicks the previous spring. And then the cool thing about that is you've got older hens that are constantly getting to a point where they're not laying anymore. And so what do you do with them? Well, you get hungry, you make some stew. But anyway, you've always got a source for meat with the older hens. So you're culling them off while you're bringing new ones in, and you've got eggs year round. And we get plenty of them every year. So they do start lightening up through the winter, of course. They're not going to lay 13 eggs a day or 15 eggs a day through the winter, but they come down to about 3, 4, sometimes 5 eggs a day through the winter, which is more than enough for our family.
Another thing you guys can do if you don't want to buy baby chicks is hatch your own. If you've got a rooster around, you got an incubator, put some fertile eggs in there, see what you get. I've got some video links down below of me personally hatching some in my incubator. Take a look at them, check them out. That's fun as well. All right, you guys, thanks for watching and have a great day.